My grandparents escaped from Russia and Romania, pogroms and fascism at the turn of the 20th century. And they escaped to America. There was no social media. They had no photographs. They had a letter from a relative who made the first trip by boat. And all they had was, well, they were driven by fear and promise, probably both. What they knew about America was that it was a land where there was freedom, and that's what they were escaping to. And they really didn't know what was going to happen to them when they got here, but they knew from all the rumors that come across the sea, they knew that there was freedom and there was a place they could make a real life for themselves. And so they came here, and my grandfather rolled cigars in a cigar factory, and then they opened a little grocery store that supported their 5 children. So I often wondered, what was that about? How did they know, and what protected them when they got here? And I began to understand, you know, we have this nation, it's so unusual, of so many religions, so many values, so many non-religions, so many ideals, so many identities, and it's really unusual. And so the only thing that binds us are our collective norms of how we're going to operate together and the laws that protect us, and that's the Constitution. And that was the thing that my grandparents knew about. They learned about the Constitution. They spoke no English for many years, but they understood about the Constitution. And so it got me to thinking, you know, what do I know about the Constitution? What do most of us know? And I realize most of us don't really know what's in the Constitution. So this is the Constitution. It's 4,440 words. It's the oldest and shortest document of its kind, of a constitution, in the modern world, or in the world. And in this, it protects us. And so the framers really knew that it was going to be hard to create. So they went behind curtained windows and sort of sequestered themselves there so that they could be out of public view, so they could argue. They could wrestle the ideas to the ground until they could come up with the 4,440 words as our rule of law for all these disparate people. And then they had the courage, later on, our government had the courage to come together to say, wait a minute, we really screwed up here about some things, so we've got to fix this thing about race. So all these amendments began to happen. So that's the Constitution, and it is the only thing that we all collectively have in common. So I thought, well, we need to know what's in the Constitution because we are in some dark times right now, and we need to know what protections we really have. The Constitution is not a political document, but I fear it's going to get politicized. I think it is becoming politicized. So we better know what's in it. So I called Jenny Levine. Durham Reads, this fabulous program. Everybody reads the same book. I said, Jenny, what if we all read the Constitution? And there was this long silence on the other end of the phone. I thought, oh God, this is never going to fly. But to Jenny's creative, bold spirit, she said, what a great idea. Took it to her committee. They thought, after they wrestled with the idea, that it was something we should all know what to do with and about. We should know what's in the Constitution. So lo and behold, Durham reads the Constitution. And here's the thing I love about Durham. I always say, somebody gets an idea and a year later it's an international festival. So I'm looking forward to the international. Everybody reads the Constitution. So it's fragile. Our democracy's fragile. We have to take it seriously, and knowledge is the only thing that will help us do that if we understand what's in this 4,440 word document. That's why I want Durham to read the Constitution. So I have 4 grandchildren, and my fierce need to protect them is fierce. And they're young, they're very young. I have 2 Jewish grandchildren and 2 African American grandchildren, and they need protection. And again, what protects them? Words. Words protect them. Words that give us ideas and laws. And so as they get a little older, I'm going to actually read the Constitution with them in a way that they'll understand it. It's fragile, our democracy, and really the Constitution is the only thing that keeps us from fraying and coming undone. I'm really grateful to the Durham County Public Libraries for taking this unorthodox Durham Reads on. I'm really grateful.